Okay, it is another Saturday morning, and that means we are here once again with another Jedi Academy. Now, if you're not familiar with what Jedi Academy is, it is a 2-hour question and answer stream where we answer your questions that are in the chat with this great panel of guests, except for maybe the questionable one below me here. No, not you, Heinzie. There's something.
Are you sure it's not me?
Yeah, I'm sure. There's something else below me right now. That's
like the first. That's like the first time ever that I haven't been that guy. So
yeah,
no,
not you are not that guy. So, so we will go ahead and introduce the panel of guests here. But before we do that, how do you get your questions answered? Well, it is listed over there on the side of the screen. All you have to do is make sure you include the word question at the start of your question. Our Nightbot will pick it up, and I will continue to collect them, and we will go for the 2 hours. Now, if you have fun questions, we save those towards the end, so even if you ask the fun questions now, don't expect them to be asked early. We'll ask them towards the end. But we'll do all of our questions again. So again, start with the word question, so our Nightbot picks it up, and then we will ask the questions to this panel. So let's go ahead and introduce the panel first, starting first to my right, but on your screen left, it is Mr. Heinzie.
It's me. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Awesome to be here as always. I hope you have a great day. Good way to start. So yeah, get those questions in. Get those damn thumbs pushed, guys. You know the drill. Okay, that really drives me up the wall. All right. We've got Clash in here. We've paid Clash the appearance fee. The least we can do, get a couple of thumbs up, people. All right. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. Do yourself a favor. Give us some thumbs up.
There you go. And as he just mentioned, now to my left is, and on your screen right, it is Mr. Clash DOE.
What is up, everyone? I'm taking care of the little scoundrels today, so I'm going to be in and out of this conversation, but I'm hopefully going to be able to add a little bit to it and not have her take all my credits.
she is, yeah. Clash has trained her well. She's getting ready to steal all of his credits, which is just perfect. Just perfect. Then we have, I don't know what. It's good old Maurice.
He's gone. You broke him.
Good old Maurice. I don't know what. Why that image?
God.
Why not?
I can't. It's gonna be all stream. I just can't. All right. Anything you want to say, good old Maurice? If good old Maurice is talking, I cannot hear you. Is it just me? I cannot hear good old Maurice.
No, I can't hear him.
No, he's muted.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
I apologize. I got some headphones on. Yeah. We were talking about it in the guild today. It's a little calm in the game right now, so you know what that means. Something's coming. I don't know what it is, but something is coming. It's always calm before the storm. These galactic challenges, I don't think they really filled the void of anything really. So I think there's something coming. Maybe we can discuss what it is today. I don't know.
That still doesn't explain your image, but that is fine. All right. The next, and lastly, we have the Jedi Master herself. She is Jedi Master Adastra. How are you doing, Adastra?
Good morning. I'm good, and yeah, I was waiting for an explanation as well. And he just goes off on, hey, let's have a good discussion, guys.
Oh, yeah, let's just go. We're going to just pretend like it's not there.
You've definitely had quite the alteration since last I saw you there, Gom.
This game's made me crazy. What can I say?
Oh my god. Alright, yeah, we're just going to pretend that isn't there. We're going to continue. So once again, make sure you guys get your questions into the chat. Start it with the word question so our bot picks it up, and then we will go ahead and start answering them for you guys. Now, really quick, as we always do, we start by going around the corn with the panel, just talking about what's going on in the game. And I think over the past week, there's really just been one major thing, right? It's Galactic Challenges and the feedback that CG gave. So let's just go around really quick. I want to start with Clash. So Clash, what are your thoughts on not just Galactic Challenges, but more so the feedback posts that they gave about the changes that they're making and how they're listening to the community?
This actually, I was on Cub's stream yesterday, and we also had a take on this. And one of the things I think there could be a lot of things that come from it. Obviously, I like that they're saying that they're going to expand the feats and they're going to expand some complexity, and it's going to, it's good. They've got a platform to do things more quickly. So there's a lot of things that can be done. But the one thing it's a little criticism, maybe it's in the communication. Two things here. First, great that they got this feedback. Where are they getting it from? Right? I would love an official feedback channel of some kind that I could just kind of like chime into. I don't necessarily need to be a part of the discussion, but I just want to know, hey, if you guys are saying you're listening and yada yada, is it just everything? Like I should just post on Reddit and the forums and make videos and that's how you listen and that's you're just going to absorb all of it through osmosis and that's fine? Or would it be easier if there was just a more direct place to put feedback and yada yada? Make something official there. Second thing is they never once in any of the 3 posts that they've made about this described the event using the word fun. The most descriptive adjective I could find was interesting. So maybe they could adjust their wordage a little bit, because if they're going for they're not going for fun. I mean, I think some people would say they're doing a pretty good job, but if they are, like, maybe we can do some goal setting, exercises together and figure out how we can get there, because it's definitely needs a little bit more of that.
And I actually, Clash, you make a really good point about the way that we're supposed to give feedback. I don't know how many people actually know this, so I'll just kind of give a little bit. And I'll shout out Kaino, who's a mod on the SWGOH forums. What's happened is a lot of people, exactly to your point, have no idea where they're supposed to give feedback for Galactic Challenges. And so they go into the feedback section and go into just the regular challenges and start posting there. And apparently that is not the correct place. There is basically a merged thread that Kaino has kind of continued to manage. It is in the general discussion forum, and I think what I'll do, because it is a good point that most people don't know where to put it, I'll put it in the chat. But there is a general discussion forum post that you're supposed to, I think that's where he's collecting it and giving it back to the devs, but it is not clear at all that this is where you're supposed to do it, right? I checked the feedback section and there isn't a Galactic Challenges section. So if you go into the challenges section, it's not the same thing. So it's difficult to figure out where exactly you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That'd be good to know. A good thing. John, aren't you a moderator there too?
I don't know.
I thought he was.
Yes, technically.
Cool.
Have this title but haven't used it, basically.
I'm still employed, but not active.
Gotcha. So
just not getting a paycheck or something. Okay, I got it.
It never came with a paycheck. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If it came with a paycheck, I would be there shutting you guys down all the time. Like, no, sir. Just kidding.
All right, Adastra, what are your thoughts on? I know we talked a little last week, but what are your thoughts on the feedback that they are listening to about Galactic Challenges and the changes that
this mysterious feedback that they hunt around for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, because the way they word it, like they probably do look at Reddit too. Whoever's brave enough to venture over there, they probably do look at Reddit and then all these YouTube videos too, I bet. Because they said, rewards have seen the most concern, so there's probably a rage posts about the reward.
A rage post?
I mean, should have made a rage post about lack of Jedi. I'll digress on that one.
There you go.
But I mean, it's nice that they did kind of quickly post this, about the feedback. Like, hey, yeah, we are listening. We know, this is the exhibition, but yes, we're listening to your feedback. And on the note of the rewards, so we did talk about this last time, and we were kind of right that they purposefully put them on the lower end. They wanted to be conservative for the exhibition, and then it's going to be more frequent in the future. So it kind of worries me. They're not going to change rewards like hardly at all, because they're already saying, well, it's going to be more frequent in the future. So the rewards will be more appreciated when it's more often. So I honestly am not expecting much of a change on the rewards. Like, they might get rid of the like on the tier 7, they might get rid of like the gear 1 stuff at least, and give us something else maybe. But I don't foresee a massive overhaul of their reward system. I'm optimistic that they'll at least just a slight increase for it. They don't have to go all crazy on like when Sith Raid came out, those rewards were incredible and we knew it wouldn't last. So like for this one, there's not much to lose on this one, because they started off so low. So I'm feeling like whatever they do to up it, we're gonna be like, all right, they increased this from 5 to 7. Okay, there we go. We got a boost. So I mean, they could be they could still, I don't think they're gonna do anything massive. I am hopeful for the changes, like expanding the complexity. I'm curious to see what that actually entails. Because as it is, for me personally, this event is really boring. It's just, I was expecting, more just awesomeness in general, for lack of going into detail, since we already talked about this before. But so I'm hopeful that they're going to actually make it more fun. But to Clash's point, you'll ever use the word fun. So they're going to make it more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we saw fun and playful with TW, right? With the craziness that were those buffs and exclusions.
Yeah.
So yeah. Heinzie, anything else you wanted to kind of add on top here?
Look, I mean, to be fair, I think it's already been said. I mean, look, everyone agrees that everyone's obviously looking at the rewards and they're not good enough. And I think every one of us agree that that's the case. And again, we know that they've at least admitted that they stuffed the rewards up. I found the last challenge tier a little bit more interesting as far as strategy-wise. I had a little bit more, I sunk my teeth in that one a bit more, the Death Star one, than the Tatooine one before it. They still have a lot of work to do to make it more interesting and challenging. Certainly, I think we all agree with that. What they do and what they don't do, it's too soon to know. But I still just believe at this point in time, they're really just mainly testing the mechanics of the event itself. All the other bits and pieces around it, I still believe they're there in a temporary capacity. And I think that they'll be improved and changed in time. But yeah, I think they're just testing to make sure that it doesn't really mess up anything else in the system and the game, I believe, at this point. And yeah, I would expect some changes, certainly. But yeah, a lot of work still needs to be done. Needs some more love, no doubt.
And Gom, anything from you to add on top?
No, not really. I mean, everything's pretty much been said. I really think what's going to happen. I mean, this is pure speculation, but instead of redoing things, they're simply going to make it just more frequent. That would be a way to kind of fix everything without doing anything. You know what I mean? So that's probably the route. I don't know. We'll see. Like Hanji said, it's temporary. Things could change. I don't want them to make the rewards too good. That's what I'm fearful of. Like, you got to be careful what you wish for. They start gating certain things behind, those tier 6 and 7, say Zeta Mats, new materials, character shards, stuff like that. Then it creates a huge separation, even further separation from like the free to play and the pay to play. So you got to be careful what you wish for, is all.
Yep, that is a good point. I think people need to make sure they don't forget the highest rewards are gated behind relics. Even if you can beat the tier, right? You don't get that last feat unless you actually have the relics in order to complete it. So they are doing more gear gating as of late. So if you're asking for rewards, they are going to be stuck behind those. So yeah, it's a good point, Gon. All right. So everyone, keep those questions coming. Again, make sure you put question in front of your question. That way it'll be picked up by the bot. We have some questions in here, but we still have plenty of room for more. So go ahead and start asking those. We'll start running through them now here. We'll start off with Mr. Heinze. And
Yes, sir.
this is similar to the questions that we were just talking about, but you can expound upon it a little bit more. Darth Scion 1972. Other
Yes,
than the rewards and time frame, how should CG adjust galactic challenges?
Oh man. Okay. All right. Yeah. Again, the rewards. It's one of those things that where do we start? We're not in the capacity to make any changes. We don't know what they've got in the tank to change. We don't know what they've got in mind or what they can and can't do. Frequency obviously is something that can make a massive difference. At least if you're going to be doing this event, at least if they're quicker and more frequent, you're going to get more goodies. At least it's worthwhile. A little bit more anyway. I personally liked the shards in there. I don't know if anyone else did. I want to ask the others whether they prefer crystals or shards. I think that the shards being gated at the top end, I think that needs to come forward a tier or two so that those that basically need them have access to them, and then roll to crystals after that at least. Something along those lines I think would be better for the later tiers. But at the end of the day, I'd love to know what everyone else thinks. But yeah, look, I'd like to see a bit more lore. I don't want to see bounty hunters on the Death Star. I want to see the rebels on the Death Star. You know, I want to see that sort of stuff where it sort of follows a bit of canon a little bit more, which really hasn't happened at all. I'd like to see a little bit more canon thrown in there to these events so that they make a little bit more sense. I'd love to see some cutscenes. They've got the new capacity Unity-wise to make them. Why we're not seeing them, I don't know. That would be cool. But just, yeah, make it a little bit more interesting visually to encounter when you actually open them up instead of just, okay, we're battling like we normally do.
I mean, shards is specific. Crystals gives diversity, right? So it's always, sometimes crystals is a little bit better just to allow for that. But they give like more specific things specifically to make you go after those and limit the use of crystals. Because they have, to their credit, and now maybe a little bit on the downside, right? They used to give a lot of crystals. And that's what allowed free-to-play to stay competitive even with the whales. Between Squad Arena and then when they started introducing crystals to Fleet Arena, it caused some issues where free-to-play were able to keep up with their like 900, almost 1,000 once you do your daily crystals a day. And so it made spending seem less worthwhile versus when you start putting things specific behind those gates and you force them to use it, right? So I think I prefer that, but I don't know what else the rest of the people kind of think.
I think he makes a good, excuse me. I think he makes a good point. Like put the shards early because like me, I don't have Grief Karga, and I don't really have bounty hunters. So I got 3 Grief Karga shards. The other ones are just out of reach for me. I'd love to have some Grief Karga shards, but like, if this is a rare exception, they're probably going to put a character in there I don't have, right? If you're a new player, yeah, that does encourage you to go after the bounty hunters. You know, you got a nice little 8-10 head start on Grief Karga. Grief Karga is probably one of the best bounty hunters now, different than when we started playing. Like Sith Trooper they gave away last week. He's one of the best First Order and Sith units. Like, yeah, give them access early. And yeah, just give the crystals to the, I don't know. I like the crystals at the end, shards at the beginning.
Something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things they could do. Just the second and third feat rewards are laughable, but you know, at the same time, like I feel like those are placeholders, but at the same time, I could just again go through with my Kylo Ren unmasked with crew this time because you have to block the initial fracture and just auto it for both those feats all the way down the board. And that's, if you put 2 good rewards behind that, then anybody with crew and Kylo are just gonna reap the benefits. So it's a weird situation I think we're in. I don't know. I don't really know what I want from this, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm hesitant to ask for more, but at the same time, I agree with everybody that it's kind of meh. So,
I think, you know, I'm still in the camp that they're going to put some form of a currency behind it that'll maybe have some unlock to character or something like that, right? I think that's my speculation that they're gonna have this be some cool kind of semi-important character, but it's gonna be, you're gonna be able to either go after that character or you're gonna be able to go after, maybe unique gear or something like that, and that'll be how they get around the, giving them more diversity. From if I had a magic wand and I could just do anything, I would love to be able to toggle off the modifiers so I could use it as a little bit more of a testing ground, because it doesn't really give you a real replication of real life, or in PvP at least, with those modifiers.
That would be fantastic, actually, because I mean, as is, even with the modifiers, it's really the only place I can test a new team right now for PvE. Like, I can go in, like you said, though, it's not realistic. Like, they have summons, you're facing 6 characters, they got these weird mechanics. That would be awesome if you could toggle it on and off. And every week you have something different to test against and kind of test your teams out. That would be really, really cool. Actually, that's a really good idea.
But we need characters in there that we actually have access to battle against.
Yeah.
Like, for instance,
toggle out those sniper droid, toggle that out, and exactly.
That's right. That's what I mean. As long as it's obviously characters that you're toggling out that obviously you can actually face in a day-to-day environment, absolutely test them. I don't like the idea of testing against characters that you don't physically have access to. It's a waste, because it's not a fair comparison. That's the problem.
Okay. So we got that. Now we go to the next question. Next question, we will head over to Clash. So Clash, question to you from Aramil, ANZGC. And the question is, if you were to use a Grievous team with BB-8 in it, with what Separatist droid would you drop if you had Watt as it? So Grievous, BB-8, Watt, and what Separatist droids would you use?
Grievous, BB-8, Watt, and then we probably just B1, B2. I mean, that seems to be. I wouldn't worry about a Magna Guard there. You're going to try to get everyone to go really quickly, and I wouldn't. So that's my. But I'm not a Separatist pro or anything. So if you guys have a different opinion, but that's just what my gut reaction says.
No, that's probably the best one to run. I mean, yeah, because like you said, if you're going to use BB-8, you don't need to really hide your characters behind a stealth or a taunt, because they're going to be going first. So yeah, definitely that's probably the best one you could run, in my opinion.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, next question for good old Maurice. Question from Mike Hunt, who's in the chat, not with us in here, but he's in with the chat. He wrote, "Long-time listener, first ever questions," and that is a lie. So, question to you, Gom, is will mod cap limit be increased or removed anytime soon? Also, when will ships get loadouts?
I don't see the mod cap being increased. Ship loadouts is a good. That's something I feel like they could do. It's getting to the point now where it would be nice to have it, especially if we do end up doing 2 fleets in Grand Arena. I'd like to see a loadout come with that. So I don't think the mod inventory is coming ever. Like, that's something we've been asking for. And one Q&A, I don't know if it was the truth or not, but they just came out and said, we can't do this. So I have really...
they shot it down in a Q&A.
Yeah, I've really...
Sad day.
And we talked about this on our stream on Thursday. At least what they could do is maybe make your inbox messages last longer. Like, that way you don't, like, if you're just farming for mods and you've reached the cap, you don't have to scramble and try to get everything, sorted and organized and leveled up and deleted in like 3 days. Give us like, a week, 2 weeks, a month, or whatever. Like the purchase mods, they stay in there way longer than the farm mods. So maybe just make the inbox cap that long for all the mods. Maybe that at least help. At least then you'd have like your mod inventory, and then your inbox could be like your storage as you like slowly filter through it and get them into your rosters. That's probably the best we're going to get, if anything.
Being able to sell directly from your inbox could help too.
Yes.
Because I've had like 4 dots and 3 dots after I farm mod just stuck in there. I'm like, I really have to clear spots in order to just sell these from my inventory. It's like, I should just be able to sell directly from the inbox. So.
Yeah, because it sucks.
That'd be nice.
You got 30 mods in your inbox. You have to scroll up and down until you find all the 3 and 4 dots, load them in, and then do it again and instantly delete it. Yeah, it's a pain. It's an unnecessary step.
Yep. Okay. Next question for Adastra. Question from Darsion 1972. Any thoughts on when Jedi Knight Luke is coming back? I have everything ready and all his gear hoarded. Do you think it will be by the next Lightside GOTB? And also, is it best to mod him slow with high offense?
I was muted. Okay, I still say September. I mean, it's gotta be soon if they're gonna keep with the cadence here. So like a couple weeks perhaps, I'd be ready sometime in September. It's still I've been telling people this, so hopefully that's what actually happens. So he's due for September. But that's awesome you're ready, so anytime. You don't, no worries there. And then as far as modding, if you're using him as the leader, you don't need speed at all, because he's gonna the opposing team match his speed, and then you just go all in on his damage. You can do an offense set or a crit damage set, crit damage triangle, and just go all in on making him terrifying if you want, and usually just have a fast Jedi to accompany him. Usually use Shaq or the. So they're the speed component. So then you can just spam his special, and he just goes all crazy. So he's a pretty simple modding for him. It's kind of nice when you don't have to make a character fast. Like so many characters demand speed. It's a nice change of pace once in a while. Like, oh, he doesn't have to be ridiculously fast. Just make him strong.
There you go. So next, I'm going to go... We have a few around the corn questions, so I'm going to do that one first here before we get back into the cycle. So the first one is from Gav P, and we'll start with Adastra and go back up the order. So Adastra, question from Gav P around the corn. What character that you've maligned due to other farms do you really want to relic farm or gear up now?
I've continuously had this to-do list, like my someday list.
Every Sith character is that on the list? Yes.
No. I've been wanting to finish my Phoenix squad forever. I have, of course, Kanan, Ezra, Relic, 7, Zeta, because they're Jedi. But Sabine and Chopper, they're Relic, but they're only 3. Poor Hera and Zeb are still gear 12. So someday I would like to finish the whole team, Relic 7 them all, because they're not as useful these days, but their ships, it helps their ships too. And they're just a fun extra team, to have for Grand Arena and stuff. And they always get split up though too. So but it's just one of those fun extra ones. And then Jawas have been getting more love from people lately. And I think it'd be so fun to have a Relic Jawa team and then set that on defense in my Grand Arena. And it would be hilarious, just to see a reaction from the opponent, seeing, Relic Jawa team.
I do like the Jawas. All right. Girl Maurice, what about you?
Mine's pretty boring, man. And I'm working on them now, actually. It's Boba Fett and Sith Empire Trooper. It's pretty boring characters to do. Every time I get a piece on Boba, something else comes, I get distracted, he gets pushed down. Same with Sith Empire Trooper. Sith Empire Troopers takes all the same stuff on the right side. You need all of the same stuff all the way down, so it's kind of frustrating, but he's getting there. I need a good Sith slash like a dark side pre-taunt is what I need. He's going to be the one I'm going for.
There you go.
Sorry I'm late, gentlemen.
No worries, Nev. How are you?
Ladies.
All right, Clash, what about you? Character that maybe you maligned in the past that now you want to gear or relic up?
My first order. No, I'm just kidding. I'm never gonna gear them.
Yeah, I said that about Sith, and here we are.
we are how many years into this? And my the highest I have is gear 10 on my Phasma from when I needed her for Rancor. Yeah, I'm good on first order. Okay. The one that I'd like to get. I would love to finish relicing my Phoenix. I have all of them relic, but I'd like to get them all like just super jacked up at relic 7 for no reason other than just to confuse somebody. Yeah, but if I had a passion project, they are fun. If I had a passion thing, I'm doing this for myself. I'm almost done with Thugnot. He's only relic 3 right now. Thugnot at relic 7, and he gets a rework of some kind for Mando. Man, that'd be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh. I honestly would not be surprised by anything at this point. After some of the stuff we've already seen.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything's possible.
All right, so and Heinze.
Hey, sorry, real quick before I gotta interrupt you, Heinze. I thought I was gonna have an hour. I've only got 30 minutes. I'm 4 on 1 right now with kids, so
okay. All right.
Let your hair looks good there, brother.
No worries. All right, Clash, you want to pimp your stuff really quick
guys.
before you sign off?
No, you guys know where to find me.
All right.
See you guys toward. Thanks.
Okay, there you go.
Take care. Have a good one.
All right, yeah, Clash is on daddy duty, and there's a lot of kiddos, as he was mentioning, so he only had a limited amount of time, but we're glad Clash was on here.
He's outnumbered there.
Yes, he is. 4-1 is a hard thing to deal with, so yeah. All right. And Heinze.
Sounds cool that he could pop on at least for a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
I am glad he was there. All right, Heinze, what about you?
So many lines, so little time, Finn. Okay.
This is a serious professional stream.
You sure?
It's supposed
You
to
couldn't
be.
even say that with a straight face
Wow.
there.
Okay. Thanks for the update on that, brother. It's good to finally realize.
Usually if
that's
I'm
the
streaming,
case.
yeah, it's not going to end up that way.
Right.
Yes,
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So I'm finally got my legends done, and I'm thrilled to get them out the way because then I can actually farm things that I want to farm again. I'm so looking forward to that. I'm working on Grief Karga at the moment because I want to get him up and running. I love my hunters, and that's the only one left. That's the last piece of the puzzle. I've got him at 12. I want to get him up a bit higher, so I'm working on that now. But then after that, I'm going to back on my troopers. My troopers need some love. They're at gear 12 at the moment. I want to get Pimp Trooper, Range Trooper. I want to get him up relicked. Got to give Shore Trooper a bit of love as well. So now my troopers are getting the H treatment next.
There you go. And then I think mine right now, because it's always requested whenever we do GAC, is the Tuskens. So I am working on the Tuskens and the Mon Mothma Rebel Fighter team as my next to gear up. Not Relic. I'm not taking any characters to Relic, but it'll be my next gear projects up to gear 11 and 12 for them. Okay. Back up to the top to Heinze, and then Nev will put you in the order here. So Heinze, question to you.
First. No, put Nev first. Give Nev some love.
Okay. All right, we'll start with Nev then. Nev, question from Poby. Hi, Poby. Question: when do you think we will get the new meta, and who will it be?
Well, it takes forever. It's not going to be a GL because it takes forever for GLs to be farmed for because, they make it so long and such a long and laborious process. You must relic these 14 characters before you can attempt it. So somebody the other day said that they'll do GLs maybe once a year. So I don't think we'll get another GL until the beginning of next year. They'll start talking about it in December, and then 4 months later, like with these GLs, that's when they'll deliver it, So the next meta is probably not going to be until next year because they're never going to release a legendary or a hero's journey character that will out-power creep either of the GLs. So next meta is not going to be until March, April next year, in my humble opinion.
Okay, there you go. Next one now to Heinze.
Yes, sir.
So, question to you from Elliot. Actually, it's from Gunnar. I hope I say this name right. Gunnar Ripa Ripya Bolokov. Ripya Bolokov.
Can
Rip
you
your
do me a
bollocks
favour?
off.
Rip
Can
your
you do me a favour?
Bolokov. Okay.
Rip your
Can you-
bollocks off.
Okay.
Is Grande hosting today? Is that Grande?
Hey, at least I had the right letters.
Grande.
Just saying. Now hush you. All right. So question from, and the question is, do you really think they give a flying F about free to play?
Oh, this is not a fair question for me, man. Okay, all right. Okay, firstly, I want to hear Finn say the name again at the end of my answer, right? Let's start with that because that was freaking hilarious, right? I want to see that again. Okay, so obviously with Galactic Legends, it's certainly not free to play friendly. We know that. It's one of those things where it certainly makes it very, very difficult to be competitive. Now, with that being said, it doesn't mean that they're not beatable. It just makes it a heck of a lot more difficult to do so. They certainly haven't given a lot of free to play players some love recently. We know that. But as I said, I'm probably the worst person to ask this question of because I'm like Ranger, and we certainly obviously. I'm a spender. That's just me. That's what I do, and I'm in the position where I can do that, and that's the way that I play this game. But that's my choice, and everyone has their own choice. One thing that we have to remember, whether you're free to play or whether you're pay to play, whatever the hell you are, whether you're a whale, crack, and whatever else, we just got to love the game or not. It's simple. We're all one community. There are divided parts of that community, but it doesn't matter how you play the game. I have respect for everyone. I couldn't be free to play because you have to have some incredible hoarding capabilities, and you also have to have some incredible restraint. And that's something that I do not have. And again, that's my choice. But I certainly give a lot of respect to anyone that is free to play. I've always respected free to play. You won't find anyone across the board that don't respect either type. And it shouldn't be. There's a lot of shade thrown both ways, and it should only be in jest and leave it at that, because at the end of the day, we're all playing the game we love. That's really the main part. Finn's muted.
Finn, you still there?
I'm here. Yeah, I usually do this about twice a stream.
It's like, there's like this weird lull.
I know, and Ranger's not here
Right
to
now.
start making the voices for me in the Kung Fu Ninja style, so yes. But I was going to say, I'm just going to chime in here really quick, because I think one thing to keep in mind, right, is for pay-to-play, they are, in some ways, right, CG needs to care about free-to-play, because without free-to-play, pay-to-play don't know the better experience they get, right? If everybody is always spending every single time something comes out, then everybody gets the character, and there's nothing, right? You need that stratification where you have like those paying players, you have those that are like mid-level spenders, you have those that are low-level spenders. And when we had Carrie on a while ago, I know this was like 2-3 years ago now, but when we had her on for the interview, and she said something that was important, which is that the game is designed not for one person to have to like every single game mode, right? It is designed that there is at least something that every person can find in this game that they like and they continue to play with, right? So for a lot of the competitive players, it is now going to be a little bit more on the pay-to-play side to compete and stay up to date in things like Squad Arena, and right now not so much Fleet Arena, but who knows what's going to be coming down the line. But in a lot of those PvP aspects, usually it's a little bit more of a pay-to-play. But you have other things in this game like TB, like GAC, in fact, because it balances out to the top of your roster, where even if you are not a spender, you can still get invested in the game. And the best part about the free-to-play is that they are going to be the largest percentage of the population, right? Majority of the players are going to be free-to-play. But they're also the ones that you have the best chance of converting to buy a simple $5 pack, a simple $10 pack, right? A lot of you may be newer, so you may not have remembered this, right? But you may remember the daily crystal booster pack, which was a 21-day pack where every day you would get 100 crystals, and it was like $14, I think, for 21 days. It was at the time the best value in this game. Now they got rid of it for legal reasons, and they haven't brought anything back since, and I put out a suggestion on something they can do similar, right? But if you keep these free-to-play players, right? And I'm going to include in free-to-play dolphins and minnows as well, like small, low-level spenders. If you can keep them invested in the game, they will start spending $5, $10 like every month and make a lot of money just from that smaller group. And that still gives the stratification to give pay-to-play players exactly what they need, which is they have bought time, right? That is what everyone is buying in this game. Everything can be gotten in this game with time. You pay in order to accelerate it so you can get it sooner rather than later. And so they do need all spectrums of the player base to be invested. They might focus a little bit more on how to get money out of the top end, but they have to keep the lower, like, free-to-play invested. Otherwise, the game dynamics just fall apart. Because if you've seen really, really heavy PvP games where you can buy your way to success, those games don't last very long. People get sick of spending. You'll have like the small group of people that just keep on spending, and they're like, why am I spending? I'm fighting the same like 3, 4, 5 people every single time. So it is a balance that's needed. Does CG openly focus on free-to-play? No. They're not going to openly focus on free-to-play. That's not where their money is, but they still have to keep free-to-play engaged in order to keep this game alive. Right, and I think they recognize that. They're just trying to lift the ceiling a little bit because pay-to-play haven't had an advantage over free-to-play until very, very recently. Prior to that, free-to-play were able to keep up, and I can say I'm proof of it because I was able to keep up with my arena shard once Galactic Legends came out, because I was not a crystal hoarder like some of the actual really good free-to-play. Some of them have hoarded crystals like over 100,000 just from the entire time because they're like, I don't need this character. And they've been able to keep up with the Galactic Legends. They dropped a lot of free-to-play when they started introducing Revan, the Darth Revan, then Malik in the very quick turnaround, and then now with all the Galactic Legends. So I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on that one. That was just
on the free-to-play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship between free-to-play and pay-to-win.
Mm-hmm.
One can't exist without the other. They can't. Well, free-to-play cannot exist without the pay-to-win constantly making purchases and keeping the game funded and alive. And the pay-to-win can't survive without the free-to-play, because if there isn't somebody to smash and crush under their excessively heavy wallets, then it's not fun for them to have the bragging rights. Now, I would argue that the pay-to-win competitive free-to-play, died before the GLs. It died with the introduction of the Hyperdrive bundle. But there is still one arena where there are still 2 arenas where free-to-play are competitive, and that's GAC. And Fleet Arena, I would disagree with you on Fleet Arena, Finn. I'm free-to-play on all of my alt accounts, and I get number 1 every single day on my small alt account with a Malevolence fleet. But that's simply because I knew exactly what fleet to go for, and I went straight for the throat on it, going for Grievous, going for the Geos, relicking them, maxing out that fleet, and we know that the 2 crewless ship are crewless. But as for CG actually showing, I think the month of June was a great month for free-to-play. We got the Vader rework. Most free-to-play veterans already had Vader maxed out, maybe not necessarily relicked, but they had the materials to go, hell yeah, Merciless Massacre. Yeah, I'm dropping a Zeta on that, and I'm taking him up to Relic 3. Most people were able to do that. Free-to-play were able to do that straight away. Because as you say, free-to-play tend to hoard, and they will only spend what they've hoarded on something that's really worth it. And that Vader rework was really worth it. And then we've got Chupio and we've got Mon Mothma. And we know that those 2 characters are viable at 3 stars. They're very, very viable at 3 stars. There's not a massive amount of characters that come out that are really viable at 3 stars. Chupio, Mon Mothma are great at the lower end of the spectrum, lower GP. So especially for GAC around Div 6, Div 7, from there downwards, they're brilliant for those. Obviously not in the squad arena or anywhere else, but really, really good there. So CG has these purple periods where it does show some love for the free-to-play community. especially when they do things like reworking old characters. JKL was I would argue that JKL was probably one of the first, was one of the first in a long time of characters that they introduced into the game that was perfect for the free-to-play veteran. Not early, free-to-play veteran. If you've been playing the game for more than 4 years, you already had practically all those characters, and it's just a case of gearing them up. And in just under 2 months, I've got every single one of those characters relicked, except for Snowlow. So that's why I say June was a very good month for free-to-play. So every now and then, credit where credit is due. It doesn't happen often, but I'll give CG credit for the month of June and July for the characters they introduced, for the events that they introduced, and for the way that they showed some love for their free-to-play lower end and the free-to-play upper end. So,
okay, there you go. Next question here for good old Maurice. So good old Maurice question from Andrew Kopta. And the question is, what is the best free-to-play Mon Mothma team on defense? Mon Mothma is 3-star, gear 8 with both Zetas. Pow is 7-star, gear 12 with a Zeta. Cara Dune is 6-star, gear 11 with the Zeta.
Well, I mean, if you're going to use those two, Pow and Cara, you're going to have to make Cara, like, defensively. If you're talking about just defensively, I really think you need Scarifo Pathfinder, and you need him well geared. And that's clearly not a free to play option because he takes the same amount of Carbonis as GK, right? So I think if what you have, I think you want Pow and you want him fast. You don't want him like going first, but you want him fast with that Zeta. The faster he is, the more speed you get from that 5% turn meter gains that he's getting. So you do want him semi-fast, probably like for being realistic, 260-ish, 270-ish should be pretty good. Cara Dune at gear 11 is going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I guess with the revive from Mon Mothma, you get and herself revive. You do get the revive mechanic, so she should be decent there. Try to make her fast. Maybe kind of. Trying to think the best way to mod her at 11. You probably just want to do like flat protection, flat health on her at gear 11, and try to get her as tanky as possible with some speed. Again, probably maybe shoot for her maybe 280 plus ish. I'm trying to think of the other two components. I don't know what you have geared, but I'd probably. I guess it's all relative to what you have. Like if you have Baze in gear 12, he's probably going to be a good option for you because you're going to be a little bit slower at 280. So Baze would be a good option to kind of protect your team initially against a faster opponent. And you want some damage because with those three right now, your Mon Mothma, Cara, and Pow, you have no damage. So you're probably going to want Hoth Rebel Scout, but I'm sure that's not an option. Biston is also an option because he adds the dot element as well, and Frenzy gets the whole team going. It's all relevant. We're pretty much. I guess what I'm trying to say is anything you have, your best geared characters. Your best geared characters are probably the best for that team because if they're slow, if you're, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place with this. If the top speed of your team is under 280, I would use Baze. If it's higher than 280, like let's say you have a faster Biston, you have a faster Cara, then you might be able to drop Baze and go for more offense, like damage-oriented characters like Wedge, or Churret, or stuff like that. That wasn't a very good answer. If you message me on Discord with what you have, I can answer that much better.
And good old Maurice, let me ask, because I think I understand. I haven't played around with the Mon Mothma team too much, but correct me if I'm wrong here. The reason Cara Dune is maybe inferior to like a Scarif level Pathfinder on defense is because Cara needs to use her basic in order to get the taunt early, even if you have her fast. And on defense, she'll use a special, so then you don't have that kind of pseudo auto taunt at the beginning, right? Which leaves your team completely open. Is that right?
Yeah. If you don't go first, yes, that's exactly right. Because if you go first, it doesn't matter who goes first. She's going to assist, so then she gets the taunt. But if you're a slower team, in gear 11, it's going to be slower. She's got really high base speed, But a lot of that base speed comes, from the Gear 12, and then the stacking speed from the mods onto a Gear 13, 12-ish character. You just want to protect your team to let them get going is the problem. Because if you don't get Mon Mothma going, that team's terrible on defense. But if you let it get going and they start going and going and going, and that's why Hoth Rebel Scout's kind of so important. It kind of keeps facilitating the turn meter. Even though it's a low chance of assisting every turn, a whole round of attacks, you get at least 1 or 2 procs of that turn meter, and that's what keeps it going. You can't stop. You can't have pauses in the team, because then they just crumble. Do remember that you get all the stacking elements. So your highest geared characters, like if Pal's Gear 12, try to capitalize on what he's best at, which unfortunately he's not really that good. He's kind of average across the board. But if you have like a Gear 12 tank, really stack him up for protection and just go off what you have stat-wise with your mods, because everybody's going to get a little piece of it. Don't try to put offense, like offense percentage primaries on like Gear 11 characters who's not getting anything out of that. You're much better going with the flat stats so everybody gets a piece of it. Yeah, just message me on Discord. Sorry, really long-winded, terrible answer there. Just kind of message me on Discord what you have, and I can kind of help you kind of devise a team based on what you have, because there's so many options.
There you go. So yeah, Andrew, go ahead and message Good Old Maurice with your GG page, and I'm sure he'll help you find a good team with your specific roster.
Yeah, you can tag me on the RSG server too. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, next question here for Adastra. So Adastra, question to you from Elliot Worsfold, and the question is R3 really enough to unlock Jedi Luke? Should I be prepared to Relic 5 a few of the characters?
Oh, it's enough. The minimums are enough. You don't have to go all in. You don't need to like Relic 7s across the board. Relic 5 doesn't hurt if you can spare it. Like all those characters, like Relicing up Wampa, you're not gonna regret it if you end up doing that. But Relic 3, yeah, it's plenty. I mean, I never had to boost. Like my Wampa isn't reliced up, so I did the minimum with him, for example. And but yeah, everyone I spoke to, that did this event, the minimums were able to cut it. They never had to. Relic levels were already plenty for it. Minimums were already so high up there that you didn't need to expand on it. So yes, if you're on resources, don't worry. You'll be okay. Just have some good modding and you'll be set.
Can I add to that, if you don't mind?
Heinzie did a brilliant tutorial video recently.
Thank you. I was just going to mention, the relic level's fine. I actually took mine to Relic 5, my Lando, just for a bit more AoE, just to make him a bit more solid and take the RNG out of the hardest tier out of it. Yeah, I got together with Fulbright and we put together a full guide. If you go to the YouTube channel, there's a 2-part guide for tiers 1 to 4, and then we did 5 to 8 together, and we went through it and we gave mod requirements that we recommend. As long as you do it with that, we got gameplay and all that on it. Just follow that, you'll be fine. It's pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah.
I intend to. I intend to. Maybe not necessarily all relic levels, but definitely the mod advice.
The mod's the key. Yeah, the mod's the key.
Yeah, the mods are the key. So I'll definitely be following the mod advice on that, and I'll be watching it again before I do it. Oh God!
Perfect. I figured there should be some good guides out there by now. So that's perfect. You'll definitely, when the event rolls around, you'll be posting that all over the place.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it could be a bit handy. I've got a feeling about that. But yeah, Fulbright and I got together because Fulbright helped me unlock it live at the time when I did it, because I got it the first time around. We then sat down afterwards and we took all the gameplay and what we did right and what we did wrong, and we went through it. So hopefully it should help you guys get it quicker. Is the plan of attack.
If you're able to, Heinzie, can you link it in the chat for everyone?
I don't know if I can put links in there, brother. I can certainly send them to you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and if you can't, then let me know and then I'll put it in there. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then a plus side for the last tier Vader with that rework that people want to Zeta him now, because like before the rework, I did the event without any of his Zetas. I was all proud of that. Like, yeah, you guys don't have to Zeta him. And now it's like, no, you want to Zeta him, so this is now pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
It makes it a lot easier for sure. But you
Yeah,
just,
Heinz, you got when I do it, when it comes up next, I'm fingers crossed I should be ready. Yeah, I'll definitely need to get you in a Zoom call so that you can help me
well,
out.
it's about,
with that.
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's about time I come in handy. I mean, let's be fair.
Yeah,
So at the end of the
yeah,
day, yeah.
don't just as long as you don't preload me. Yeah, I'm happy.
Oh, cut that crap out, Jesus.
All right, let's go to the next question here. Actually, we're going to go to an around the corn question once again, because we have another one here. So we'll start with Adastra again and go all the way back up to Nev here. So Adastra, question to you from Wolffell. And it's around the corn, though. Other than the galactic change fixes, what do you want, need, and or expect to see in the game or from CG from now until the end of the year to feel like 2021 is going to be a better year than the hot garbage that was 2020?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, what I want is never, ever. Okay, well, maybe not ever, never, ever, but seems like it won't happen for a long time. You know, I'm sure I've preached this a few times now. A raid. I would love to see a raid in one form or another, whether it's a personal raid or, you know, or a short raid or just a ship raid. Well, not just a ship raid. I take that back. Don't ever do it just a ship. No, do a mixture. But I've been waiting for that. You know, for me personally, that's. But I understand the reasonings of that we may never get that now in this day and age of this game where it's currently at, that they're trying these other types of events now. So I do worry we will never see a raid now, like a new raid, I mean. So I mean, that content-wise, that's something I would love. And then a sandbox mode, which they also have shot down, which I'm really bummed about. I think they could have done a lot of cool stuff like that, you know, like an guild only one, for example, where you just challenge each other in your guild. You can pay like 15 crystals or something, you know, because they would want to monetize it somehow to make it worthwhile, or you know. But there's so many things they could do. Like a lot of us, I know I'm not alone at all, especially on the sandbox mood. And then the fact that I was told that Marvel Strike Force has a sandbox mode. So I feel like that could kind of help that this game might eventually get it, since another game has it established, that I'm hoping that can kind of edge it in our favor, that, hey, this other game has one. We should get with the times here. We're due for it, right? So I'm kind of hoping that maybe someday they'll revisit that idea and give us that. And that would be a cool way to start 2021, to have a mode that a lot of us have been wanting long time.
Okay. Gom, what would you want to see from CG until the end of the year to think 2021 would be a good year? And he's on mute. I've done it too, so I'm not criticizing. I'm just making sure he knows he's on mute.
So professional.
Gom.
Are you alive?
He
sorry,
unmuted.
can you hear me? I got two different types of mutes. I keep getting them. Okay.
Yeah.
The raid. I got one on my mic and then one on my phone, and yeah, I just used the bathroom, so I double muted myself just in case. So okay. Yes, the raid would be great. I think my wish list includes basic quality of life changes, and we touched on so many of them today. It's just something about the mod inventory. Give us some sort of way to deal with that. You know, because especially if they're going to keep rotating 3 versus 3 and 5 versus 5, you need so many different mod loadouts. You got the raids, you got TB now. You know, these teams of TB require so much, you know, very specific modding, especially for cam shards. You know, so something mod related. The ship loadout, somebody asked earlier, that would be great. And just others, just small little changes. I don't know exactly what they would be. Just ways for us to better manage our stuff, especially like Clash kind of hinted at it earlier, especially if we get another currency, you know, just a way, just like a basic information screen, maybe expand what's on the player card, you know, just like a way we could look at all of our stuff in one click instead of having to go here and look here. You know, maybe some sort of, you know, we see all the bots now, you know, they show you how many plus 20 speeds, and like maybe something in game we could just look at how we're progressing without having to use a secondary bot. You know, like just like have the, I mean, if the bot can do it, if SWGOH can do it, why can't the game do it? You know, and just let us see how many mods we have. Let us see how maybe our top, you know, X characters are in terms of just stats, more stats in the game, I guess would be nice. I know that sounds stupid, but just I don't want to use Discord. I don't want to use a website. I don't want to have 3 computers out to set up for Grand Arena. Just let me do it from the game. Something of that nature.
That makes sense. Heinzie.
Yeah, new raid done. We've talked about that. Adastra brought it up and she's dead set right. How we haven't got a Death Star raid yet or something revolving around that's got me stuffed. We've talked about this a few times and yeah, I'm seeing like a broken record. We need a raid, Death Star preferred, but any freaking raid would do. If you don't mind, be great. Cheers. I want better communication as well from our developers if possible. Cubs obviously released a video 48 hours ago, and that was ideal. I think there's certainly a disconnect between us and the people that make the game, and that certainly is quite disappointing, very frustrating. So I'd like to see a lot better improved communication. We've had a little bit, still a long way to go in my mind. I think that would certainly alleviate a lot of issues, for sure.
Okay. And Nev.
Right. Okay. So
And
everybody's already
to
said
the rage background, of course.
everybody's already said the raid. Obviously, the ship raid that they talked about in October of last year, they need to take the mothballs off that. Dust the damn thing off, get it out, or get it finished. If it's been finished, release it. If it hasn't been finished, put some developers on it. Get the damn thing finished. Rework something within the game to give us some kind of default sandbox mode. Galactic Wars is the obvious choice there. All they need to do is increase the difficulty. You know, a lot of people have said it. If they were to increase the difficulty, just so that you could face some much tougher opposition in those 12 matches, that would be, you know, it wouldn't be the perfect sandbox, but it would be something. And third for me is GAC Div 1 needs to be broken down. It's got to be split into 3. Because going from 4.5 million GP onwards, it's just ridiculous at the moment. They need to have a division from 4.5 to 5.5, from 5.5 to 6.5, and from 6.5 onwards. They've got to split. Going from 4.5 million to 7 onwards, it's just ridiculous at the moment. There are a lot of pay-to-win people that play GAC that are in Div 1 that are not happy at the moment because they spend huge amounts of money to do well in GAC. And when you look at the global rankings, it's much harder for somebody with a higher amount of GP to make that, you know, the top of the global rankings. It's much easier for somebody to finish towards the top of the global rankings that is less than 5.5 million, because it just is the way that the algorithm works. It just is. So somebody that spent a huge amount of money for the bragging rights to be the best doesn't get to be the best because they're lumped in with a bunch of people with low GP that can make that. I'm in Div 2 and I'm pure free to play. I made the top 100, and I don't have any GLs. I don't have gas. I mean, I don't even have Malik, for goodness sake. But I'm very good with what I do have. I've competed against pay to win. So yeah, and I wouldn't say that 2020 is hot garbage. It has been weak, but we have had a couple of good months so far in 2020. And if they don't want 2020 to be an unmitigating disaster, then that they need to do things that the community would like to see happen. In a different manner from the way that everyone's naively thinking that CG has, done them a solid regarding galactic challenges.
Okay, there we go. And really quick, we are at just over the halfway mark here. So if you guys haven't already, hit that thumbs up, give us a thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this. We've collected a lot of questions, so if you get in your questions now, we may not get to them, but go ahead and throw them in anyways, and we'll try to get through as many as we can here in the remaining just about an hour or so. So get those in now. And let's go ahead and start back up here with Nev. Nev, question to you from Skywalker Vader, and his question is, have you noticed increase or decrease in hacking or cheating in all our game modes?
I mean, I can only speak for what I see and what I hear, and I'm not hearing about an excessive amount of hacking and cheating. Every now and then, somebody suspects it. I know that Rambam had a battle in GAC recently that he suspects, but can't conclusively prove was somebody cheating against him in a GAC battle. And it has happened off the top of my head twice against competitors in GA Center. And that's over the last 2 months. So I'd say that that's a fair reflection for a large amount of the community. I would say that they've caught it. But we don't hear about it, so that's good, I guess. We're not hearing about lots and lots of cheats being kicked out of the game or being banned. So I would say that it's being caught by CG because we're not hearing about it, and there's not masses and masses of people talking about it. So I think that they're catching it.
There you go. Okay, next question here. We'll go to Mr. Heinze.
Yes, sir.
So, Heinze, question to you from Epicas, or Vormax. So his question, how long before CG releases more Clone Wars Season 7 content, aka The Bad Batch?
Ooh. Okay, all right. Vormax, good question. I love The Bad Batch. Bring them out yesterday. As simple as that. Yeah, I think they would be amazing. They really would. I think that there'd be a lot of people interested in their capabilities, especially another lineup as well that would go really hard. If they built the kits correctly, that could be a really, really cool light side GOTB, wave clearing lineup. If they got it right. Like, I mean, we need that. Let's be honest. I think that if they built it right, they could go in there and just smash heads and get a 4 out of 4. In that particular game mode, in that, in the TB, I think that would be magnificent if they got it right. I mean, you've got Crosshair that could just one-shot people. You've got Hunter that can obviously throw around all the support and all the buffs, bits and pieces, and debuffs as well. You've also got Wrecker, who's basically going to stop any of them from taking damage when he chucks the bloody, the piece of the freaking, the transport down. It's already built. You got Tech, who can, just disable stuff, just, diffuse them all. It's already there. It's so good. It really is. And if they revolved around the sort of mechanics as like the bounty hunters work with the payouts, and they can sort of somehow integrate it around that style, that could be freaking epic. It really could if they get it right. But yeah.
CG could make so much money from the Bad Batch.
Oh, man,
oh my God.
The
Krakens and Whales would go so hard on that squad. If they released that entire squad, a few weeks apart as marquee, it would and they announced it. Oh, so we are going to release the Bad Batch one character at a time. You're going to get all 5 of them. They're going to be synergized. The amount of people that would wail, because it would be like, okay, so I buy it, I take him to 7, I relic him. Next one comes out, I buy that one, I relic it. Next one, it's
money for jam.
God,
money for jam.
It's easy money for CG. That easy money.
Yep. So thanks for that question.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there you go. So yep, Heinze would like the Bad Batch, yes, and he's hoping. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take the next one here really quick, and it's from Smoke311, and he says, "Hi, Smoke. What happened to the yearly big quality of life updates, and does CG still do monthly Q&As?" So with regards to the first part of the question, the big quality of life, they came out, I think, about a year ago or so and said they're no longer going to do like just pure quality of life updates. They're going to integrate it into all of their other updates periodically rather than holding them all until one time. So we've had a few little quality of life changes. There's been nothing major like we've been hoping for, like, for example, fleet payouts or just general betterment of games, mods, and all that kind of stuff. They haven't done any big quality of life changes lately, but they have been integrating it into all of their other releases and just like little stuff. Hopefully they'll have some bigger ones soon, but they haven't yet. And as for the monthly Q&A, I don't know if it's because of COVID, right? Because now they're separated, and this isn't to take a pot shot at them, but this is legitimately what they said, where literally on their lunch break, they would sit at a table and text and basically like type live what the answers were, give it to Crumb, and then put it on the forum post, right? Which is honestly a ridiculous way to do it, especially with the way that they had their forum post, where they were editing previous posts, and there's no way to really follow it live unless you're watching it like every few seconds to see when an update is. It was a poor way for them to do a monthly Q&A. I wish they would bring back the Q&A, but just drop this whole like live premise, right? They have all the questions ahead of time. They collect the questions, give them to the devs, get their answers, put it in a document, and post the document at a certain amount of time so everyone knows at 12 o'clock Pacific time on this day, you're going to get the answers for our Q&A, and just list everything there. I think they just went about it in a bad way. So for now, they haven't done the monthly Q&A, I think, in 3 months now. So, and I personally think it's better for them not to do it at all rather than do it the way they did, because the way they previously did it was kind of asinine. So hopefully they come back in a better format, as even Crumb admitted to that their format was not the right way to kind of do this and they were looking for other ideas. I hope they do bring back a Q&A, but in a completely different format that actually makes more sense than what it was currently. Because I think that did a more of a disservice to them to do it in that manner, because it wasn't they called it live, but it really isn't live, except for the fact
prefabricated. It's all prefabricated anyway.
It is.
So
Exactly. So it's just better just to post all the answers. Just make it simple on yourselves. We want the answers. We just don't want to be told it's live and just like constantly trying to follow like an edited post for like 2 hours while you do this. It didn't make any sense. So hopefully they work on that and bring it back, but that's pretty much it. Okay, so now to good old Maurice for your next question here. By the way, we did have somebody else join in. We had the OG Jedi Academy Master himself, Mr. Smithy D. How are you, Smithy, if you're there? You're on mute.
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Hello there. You can hear me?
No, I can hear you. How are you, Smithy?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, we'll get.
You hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Yep.
That's good.
We'll get to a question to you here in a second. We'll start with Gom first here. Gom, question to you from Telomad. And the question is, would you finish your Galactic Legend Rey farm, or would you gear up a low-starred Chupio?
Oh, Galactic Legend Rey. I thought this was going to be the dreaded JKL versus GO question. No. Chupio, Nev alluded to it earlier. He is perfectly fine where he's at for now. I'd finish GL over Chupio. He's a good character. And I'll tell you firsthand, I fought a Gear 10 4-star one in my final Grand Arena matchup. And, you know, it at 4-star Gear 10, it did just fine wasting Jolie. So I think definitely GL. Definitely GL over Chupio.
Okay. There you go. Next question. Adastra. Question to you from Gav P. And the question is, I've just unlocked Cam at 4-star. Does he have a good use at 4-star? And do you see a good use for him at a higher star level? He also called you the Jedi genius herself, Jedi Master Adastra. So I'll throw that in there.
Yeah, I like that title. Yep.
better than what I get.
Yeah, so that one's very, very dependent on your roster. first of all, congratulations. I mean, that's a huge achievement to even unlock him. So way to go, props to you and your guild there. Keep it up. But yeah, that one, he's useful if you have the spare Jedi to use him with. Otherwise, just pairing him with Grandmaster Yoda is effective because he'll boost Grandmaster Yoda. I mean, he doesn't have to be on a full Galactic Republic Jedi team. That's when you get the most out of it, So that's generally where we all want to go because it's an extra team. He's boost these Jedi that are not used as much. But if you're limited on that, he can actually give some nice boosts to your Yoda to help him destroy even more. So I mean, I had fun with that, a Jedi Knight Revan lead, Yoda, and Cam, that it actually works. But if you do have all the other Jedi, if you don't only have the Jedi Knight Revan team, the main ones, I mean, it's great with a Qui-Gon Jinn lead. Again, if you have that Zeta, and then because that's now an instant plus 60 speed, which is pretty nice. So it's very easier to get ahead of whatever you're fighting, and then for defensive play for Grand Arena as well. That's where you'll see it more, and TW, it'll obviously depend where you're at in your guild, what level of TW doing. Like I'm at the highest level. I'm never going to be able to use my cam as he is, I mean, until he's maxed out. I do look forward when he's maxed out. But anyways, if you have, so for Grand Arena purposes is where you would be able to see action for it on defense or offense. So if you have a Jin lead, you can form just a fun extra team for that. Zaris accompanies him because she gets, she has the one of the highest health pools, or the highest health pool of the Jedi rather, and she gets a good boost from it. She can actually dish out some nice damage. Like I went full on test mode, as soon as I unlocked him, and was amazed. And it still makes me laugh thinking about it, like just seeing her one shot stuff, like weak or so. I mean, you're not gonna be killing like a Revan with her, but you can take on lower tier teams there. And then the other lead, though, if you have the Qui-Gon Jinn Zeta, you can do a GK lead. That's the other strongest lead. Again, keeping in mind the whole Galactic Jedi team that do his lead, because then you have to boost. Because usually you're gonna put healers, and so verse again is amazing here. And then you can do like Ahsoka. You can do again, if you're a crazy person, you have all the extras. Luminara, Jedi Consular actually can go well here. That they get the health boosts too. So you just kind of go all in with the health and the offense, and then that's where you maximize the potential of the team. But again, if you have all these spare ones, otherwise your cam will just be sitting there at unlock gear 1. Like don't put resources into him if you don't have the Jedi to use with him, and just wait for that day when you do max him out, because I guarantee you, or at least, okay, that's probably, I can't say that. I'm hopeful, but I am very, very optimistic that he will transform when he is maxed out, because of his kit is actually really good. Like some people overlook some things that he can do because you're solely focused on Galactic Republic Jedi, blah blah blah. But he's actually really good. So I'm getting there. I'm close. I'm at 6 star. So I will be so ecstatic when I'm finally done, and I will share. I've theory crafted stuff for a long time now, and I'm intending to do a fun video once the show. Hopefully it's worth the wait. This is a very painful, long journey, getting cam, but hopefully it's worth the wait to 7 star him.
Okay.
Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we to do?
All right.
Hello, Smithy.
All right. So Smithy, next question for you here from Andrew Kopta, and the question is, what would be the likelihood that we could get a galactic challenge where you can attempt a special mission for the Reek or the Acolyte?
Probably very low. Probably 0 chance, I would say. Because, yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. It'd be nice.
I'll reword it here. Let me ask you a slightly different one
reword it.
then.
Go for it.
So what is a chance that they introduce a new tier to the Galactic Challenges? So they've gone up to 7. What if they introduce a tier 8 that allows you to fight a raid boss type character like Reek or Acolyte, a single person type raid? What do you think the chances are of something like that?
Still super low. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of the Galactic Challenges. I just played through it. It's just kind of like, and then just move on and carry on and do the rest of the stuff. It seems to be, I don't know. I've got to see what they bring out next, because at the minute I don't really feel that it's going to progress until I see the changes they're going to do. Then I'd probably comment and go, yeah, maybe they could do that, maybe. But I think at the minute I'm just like, nah, I don't know. This is only a demo, I guess. It's only a beta. But I don't know. I guess they could. You know, they said they've got all the tools with Unity now, and upgraded Unity, and they could do it. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's much there at the minute. So we'll have to wait, play the other round, see how they play out. But I don't know. It just comes off to me as minimum effort, maximum reward. But the rewards are really bad.
Yeah.
And locked behind
the gear
feats.
Walls. Yep.
But no, this is the thing. I got a theory about that. The feats that they're probably going to play into when they up the kind of like relics, or when it's always going to go up. It's not going to go down. So it's always going to go somewhere. And I just got a feeling they're going to like gate the new stuff behind the feats, and you're going to have to do the feats. And that's where I feel like the purpose of this game mode is, or event. And that's what I think personally, which I'm okay with. You got to accept it. It is what it is. But that's why I feel that this is what it's there, and this is going to be the true intention. Is there's there's just going to be stuff there that is going to be like relic your Jawas or something, or relic your Tuskens, and change it. And like they said, they got the tools and they could just change it how they like and do things. So maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. I think for me personally, this benefits maybe more to the developers to probably put stuff into. Yeah, I don't know. Still iffy on it, kind of thing of where it could go.
Yep.
But I like to say, Nev, you got a good haircut, mate. I think last time I seen you, you had like long hair.
Yeah, got it.
You look about 20 years younger.
It's all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gridsy no longer has the best hair in Swugger.
Oh, that's a big call. Oh, that's going to get back.
All right, let's go around the corn
moly.
here. We'll start with Smithy as we go backwards for just a simple question here from Nathan H.
Okay.
For around the corn.
Yeah, simple.
Besides the Death Star, what raid do you want the most in the game? So Smithy, you first.
I don't know. That's on the spot, man. I got to think of like. Yeah.
That's
like,
what we're here for,
I don't
Smithy.
know.
We ask you the hard questions, right?
I don't know. I didn't really like the sequel trilogy, but I guess they'd probably do maybe a raid around Palpatine at the end, maybe, and then that probably, if they wanted to, then they could make the new Palpatine, I guess, a hero. But they've got to do a ship at some point, haven't they? If the GLs are just going to solo everything, they've got to take them out of the equation and just go with a ship raid. But I don't know. I couldn't really answer it, so I'll pass because I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's just whatever you want. Adastra, what about you? What raid besides the Death Star would you want to see in the game?
Well, at this point, I just want a raid. I don't care where it's at now. I don't care what. Okay, well, maybe I do care a little, but I just want a raid.
Okay.
Like, I think I remember one time it was on Jedi Academy. I'm not sure who mentioned it. I thought it was a great idea. and it kind of would tie into, it wouldn't be directly a Death Star raid, but at least kind of tie into it. But using the Rogue One movie as the example,
Yeah.
you have your ground war and your space war. Could
that'd
easily,
be
you know, like you're
awesome.
infiltrating, get the plans up, you know, that's part of your mission, get the plans sent up, and like they could make a whole, do all kinds of cutscenes with that too, you know, they can make that a thing leading up to, you know, a Death Star one someday if they don't ever want to do that for some reason. You know, I thought that was a cool idea. They you literally have a setup for your bosses and, you know, ground assault. Then you have the space battle, and then you can end with like facing Darth Vader or something, you know. So they
That would be
could,
cool.
yeah. But yeah, again, just give us a raid.
There you go. Gom, what about you? Unless you're double muted. You're muted on Zoom. You might be muted on his microphone.
Double trouble muted.
Nav, I'll let you go while Gom is
Picking the toilet.
Well, I mean, I've always wanted to see an across the board Return of the Jedi. Phase 1, Jabba's palace going against Jabba. Phase 2, a forest moon of Endor outside the shield generator. Phase 3, the Emperor's throne room, and Phase 4, ship section actually blowing up the Death Star. But more than that, I'd like to see a reversal. We've had 3 raids: the Rancor, the tank, and Sith. I'd like to see a reverse. I'd like to see a raid where it's the bad guys against the good guys.
Interesting.
It would just be something different, you know. So maybe they could do something along. They missed a trick with the Empire Strikes Back, where you're smashing the rebels, and the aim is to complete the raid and beat the rebels. It'd be nice to see something different like that, because if they were to introduce a raid like that, everybody'd be like, oh right, okay, wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, wasn't
expecting to need to work on, to work on specifically on dark side characters in order to be, because the heroic, it was all about, JTR and Phoenix and Han T. I mean, yes, there were some dark side teams in there, but a lot of the time it's more about working on light side teams in order to beat the dark side teams. So I think a fresh approach to a raid, same format. I mean, reskin it, just give us something slightly different with some nice, with some nice cutaways and some nice cinematics between each of the stages, so that everybody's got, so that everybody wants to be that person that gets the last bit of percentage before you go on to the next stage. It's like, oh, what's the cinematic? there's a level of excitement there. It's like, oh, what's the cinematic gonna be?
Yeah.
Something like that would be. I think something like that would be really, really appreciated within the community.
Okay, Gom, are you with us now? Unmuted, maybe.
Yes.
There
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, what was the question?
What raid besides the Death Star would you want to see in the game?
Well, I should have an answer because 2 people went before me, huh? Probably. Yeah, kind of blew this one. I don't know. I'm not the lore expert that you guys are. So I don't know. The Rogue One is definitely a very cool idea. You can't. I don't know. You could maybe do. You could maybe tell more of the story. Maybe like do a raid. I don't know. I guess you can't just make up lore. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're kind of with the Dastra, that any raid would be kind of a good raid at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. I enjoy figuring out the mechanics of the raid more so than the actual like visuals and like lore aspect of it. If that makes sense. I'm a terrible person to ask lore questions to. I'm sorry, guys.
That works. Heinzie, what about you?
Okay, you ready for this one?
No.
Mandalorian raid.
Okay.
Phase 1, Grief Karga and Bounty Hunters. Phase 2, Mudhorn. Phase 3, You go up. That's phase 3 is the easy one because you're taking on the Baby Yoda punching scout troopers, so they can't shoot straight. So you're going to get through that really easy, right? finishing off, going up against Moff Gideon, Death Troopers, and Stormtroopers. Boom. And rewards.
That would be an awesome raid.
Rewards, Baby Yoda shards.
Baby
Boom,
Yoda shards.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go with Moff Gideon as the reward.
Well, you could do that too. Either.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome raid. A Mandalorian raid. Yeah, that would be brilliant. Oh, yeah.
Mine might be recency bias because I've just started watching it with Ranger for some of our VIPs, but it would be a raid with the Bad Batch to free Echo. And you just go through that entire sequence, right? Because there are like 4 different parts where you first landed and you have to defeat those first set of droids. Then you have to infiltrate into the building. Then you have to avoid the Techno Union. And then if you really want, like the last part is freeing Echo before the massive detonation droid comes in and just blows up your entire team. Like that would be my one that I'm thinking about and kind of fits in with possibly bringing in the Bad Batch.
No, you could just do the first 4 episodes. You could do something from episode 1 for stage 1, something from episode 2 for stage, and so on and so forth until episode 4. I mean, 5 to 8, we don't like to talk about episode 1.
Yeah,
episode 5 to 8, you just pull out. I'm waiting for some genius to just put 1 to 4,
yeah,
and then 9 to 12. Just squeeze it all together. Take out episodes 5 to 8, and no, that would definitely work. Yeah. See, there's content. There is source material out there for CG to make a very, very simple raid that would appease the likes of us. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be, guns blazing. It just has to be a nice, simple new raid with some interesting mechanics in there. And, yeah.
All right, let's get through some more questions here. So back up to the top here, Nev. Question from Plasma 1972. Is it better to concentrate on getting Malevolence to 7 stars, or once I unlock Malevolence at 5 stars, switch to Negotiator?
No, go Malevolence to 7 stars. Just go Malevolence to 7 stars.
Okay, there you go. What else 73 for Heinze? Question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think first-generation characters need another stat buffing pass before they release more Galactic Legends?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many characters that we've built up over the years that are practically useless sitting in your roster that you don't even touch. So if there's any way to improve any character that we already have, and they did that, to be fair, with the Vader rework, that's a perfect example. It didn't need much. It just needed a tweak. And that character is fun again, and we're using it consistently. That's what we want. We've got stuff sitting there ready to go that we want to use that practically just doesn't stand up to a lot of the standard sort of lineups that we use in PvP and PvE content at the moment.
I'll ask this, I'll ask you, Heinze.
Go ahead. Mace.
Mm-hmm.
Mace sucks.
Mace.
He's always going to suck. If Rambam's out there, dude, keep fighting the good fight, bro, but it's a losing battle.
I'll ask Heinze this, but I'll kind of open it up to everybody afterwards. In some ways, I actually think it's a good thing that only part of the roster is usable, right? Because of how much you need to invest in terms of gear and relics now. And in fact, with relics, you are destroying gear in order to up a character, right? It helps that only about a third of your roster is really viable for usage. The other parts you can then just ignore, and you don't really have to worry about it too much, right? So if they start making the older characters actually usable, do you think that it's a good thing? Because now, let's say 66% of your roster, let's say they make a third of the other characters now viable in some way, shape, or form. That's a lot of gear that you now have to put on these previously useless characters to utilize them. And now you don't get that focused view anymore on your roster, where you can just focus on the 1/3, max them out, and just kind of focus, right? So
yeah, but that's our choice to focus on those characters. That's the way that we've designed our strategy to do that. If I'm at the capacity where I've got all of my meta teams up and running, and then I could, for fun and for the sake of some variety, rip out. Geez, I don't know. I'm just looking through now. I'd like to use Maul a lot more, for instance, who'd actually be viable and useful in attack. I don't use him. He's a wicked character. I'd like to dust off, and the Duster's going to hate me for this. I've got a Gear 12 Qui-Gon Jinn. I'd like to use him more, but I'm not going to because it's going to get its butt handed to it against the teams I go up against. So if there's options of buffing teams and making them bigger and better and more awesome, at least they're going to be worthwhile farming. I'm not saying you have to, but it's worthwhile using that resources and using that stuff and actually putting into something that is actually going to be useful down the track. How's that a bad thing?
Yeah. Okay.
No, they need to make they could at least an olive branch would be to at least make make some tweaks, maybe not necessarily to make them competitive in PvP, but do some tweaks to make them competitive in PvE. So some tweaks on some characters or some tweaks on some factions so that you can take them into a territory battle, or so that you can take them into a raid and they just don't get flawed, because the the light side and the dark side GOTB, requires lots and lots and lots of lots and lots of GP, unless the team has the mechanics to really do one over. Like Mon Mothma's a perfect example of that. Mon Mothma is a perfect example of a character that is not OP and isn't like the be all end all when it comes to PvP, but PvE, you throw her into the light side GOTB and she smashes it. So they could do some tweaks here and there to various different old faction characters that would make them more viable within PvE, and it would be good business for them, because then people would work on them. I don't think that they need to do a huge amount to the older characters regarding PvP, because as you just said, Finn, that most people have a solid, that they're never going to take those characters to a level that puts them usable that makes them usable, that puts them into the algorithm for matchmaking for things like GAC, that it's not going to put them to make them viable for things like territory wars, or viable for squad arena or for fleet arena, but they could make them more viable for PvE, assault battles, those smaller events, territory battles, and then people won't feel like they've wasted their time investing in them, or it's like all of a sudden we've got a rework on a character. It's like, oh, put this in the leadership slot on Jedi, and all of a sudden you've got a team that can do 3 or 4 waves in light side GOTB, and all of a sudden people are thinking, oh, okay, I'll spend a little. There are some business decisions that CG and EA do not make that it just makes me think that's why you didn't get your raise and your bonus this year, because you don't think properly. That's why the shareholders said, screw you, you ain't getting anything this year.
But Mon Mothma is a good example, because I think when was the last time, maybe it's not the perfect example because he's done it before, but we've talked about Hoth Rebel Scout and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder as characters to potentially gear up, right, for the Mon Mothma team, and they do work out pretty well. So yeah, Mon Mothma did bring some life to some of those other characters, like Scout, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, POW, and something like that could easily make some of the older characters better. Go ahead, Smithy.
I think they're already doing it. I just don't think they're doing it quick enough, If we have a look back on the reworks and the changes they've made, so you've got Mon Mothma that now makes all these like POW and pretty much like the D-list characters that you'd never use and probably would not gear up past like light side TB, and that would have just been for the requirements. She comes in, she makes it a good team, or a great team. I haven't played with it myself, but everyone seems to like it, enjoys it. Rebels had their buff with an additional with free backer. You got your Geonosians that got reworked. You've got your clones that got reworked. I think they're making their rounds on it, and hopefully, they've got Jedi Luke for the Jedi. So it seems like they're doing it. With new characters or doing like reworks. Well, it's probably all new characters, isn't it? Because you had Shakti, that probably brought in the clone rework that made it like solid, and you've got Gas. I think it's coming. It's just taking too long. It's really moving slow. But I think they are reworking it. They are getting around to stuff, but they're just taking forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are bringing life to, like you guys just mentioned, Mon Mothma. I never ever thought in the entirety of this game I would have a relic POW. So, it's just a character that no one really cared about is now a fantastic character because of Mon Mothma. And they've been kind of doing that with new things that they come out with, and just slowly bringing up these characters and making it this fun extra team that you can use in territory battles of all places too. Like, it's great for guilds that are, you need another team that can do solid there, and it'll help as you platoon stuff because it's hurting, your teams, and it's nice to see. But yeah, like I said, they need to keep doing that. They need to keep bringing love to, these characters that like everybody has but may have just not geared up yet. Like, again, in my case, I didn't have any of these guys, the rebel fighters. I'm still very mad that Fulcrum was passed over, Leia was passed over. How cool would it have been if either of those fantastic fighters, ladies, that they got passed over on that tag. I was kind of bummed. But yeah, it's been fun seeing these reworks and new characters, so they just got to keep going, keep doing that.
Yep. And to be fair, Adastra, most people didn't even realize Pow was in that movie. So I'm just it's not even just a character in the game. Most people didn't even realize where he was in that movie. So yeah, some random character that ends up being key to this team. Where was this mole rat in the movie? I don't recall.
I think he's supposed to have a bigger part, the same as Bist's done.
Yeah,
but he got cut from the final cut because it got changed in that.
Just like he was barely there.
DG obviously didn't get the memo,
Yeah. Well, they're given information months ahead of time.
Like, nothing will surprise me anymore in this game when they, making us relic these characters that you never would have cared about otherwise. So it's like, at this point, hey, if they make Gamorrean Guard OP or Ugnaught OP,
Gamorrean Guard is OP.
I will not be surprised.
All right. Let's go next here to good old Maurice. So good old Maurice, question from Nathan H. What features would you want in live PvP?
Live PvP. Okay, well, this would be fantastic. Basically, you got your whole roster, right? And you match make, and then you basically each side picks 6 characters, right? And you go in order. Like, let's say Finity and I are facing. Finity goes first, so he gets to pick whatever character he wants in his inventory. Bam, picks it. Now I get the next 2 picks. I pick my 2, he picks 1, and we go back and forth 1 and 1. And then whoever got to pick first, however you want to do it. Basically, you pick 6 characters, and the other person has the opportunity to ban a character. Like, you pick 6, your opponent removes 1. And then you just go at it. You go at it. There would have to be some sort of time limit per turn, 15, 20 seconds, whatever the case. Otherwise, they'd last 15 minutes. You just go back and forth, and then that's it. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty simple. A lot of games do it. A lot of games do it differently. But just if you do live BP, the problem with it, you'd have to have some sort of random matchmaking, right? And there, maybe you could do like a friendly match with your guildmate, so that's doubtful because. But let's try to keep it basic for getting too out of hand. But basically with the random matchmaking aspect, to keep it fair, you have to have some sort of elimination process, whether it be maybe you ban a character ahead of time or you remove it from their selection list. And that does keep it kind of fair. And each opponent has the same. Like, if you pick Kylo and I pick Kylo, or I pick Rey, then both of us are just clearly going to ban each other's Rey and Kylo, and we're left over with our basically, our first order teams and our resistance teams, which, you have to have strategy because then you have to pick a second leader, because your GL's going to get banned anyway. So it's, so then it is a fair fight. So it's, I don't know. I'd love to see it. I just don't think that's ever going to happen in this game.
I don't either, but it would be interesting to see for sure. Let's see. Next question for Adastra. From Nathan H. Adastra, which 2 characters do you want to see as the next Galactic Legends?
A Jedi. I want a Jedi Galactic Legend.
Okay.
I think someone had a good idea about that. It was using because if they've been going off of obviously the new movies, so you're going to be kind of limited on that. So it's like a master, a Galactic Legend Kenobi, and maybe like a fallen Anakin is what someone was talking. Something like that would be okay. I mean,
Galactic
that would
Legend
also
Mace.
be kind of the workaround. Because I don't think we'll get a Galactic Legend Vader. You know, we got that reworked Vader now. So I don't think they're in a rush to give us another awesome Vader. So that would be kind of a workaround, you know, and people have wanted that character as well. So I could see that maybe happening. Or give us the Galactic Legend Mace, because again, he's been denied his rework, and he was a key character, a key character now, you know, in the series, in the lore, and everything. He's one of the most powerful Jedi, so it'd be nice to see some justice for Mace. So, I mean, whatever we can
if
do.
Qui-Gon can't get a rework, then Mace shouldn't have one either.
But I mean, I honestly, I could see that happening, giving us a Jedi and a Sith eventually. Or the other one was a fun one, was a Galactic Legend Leia or Padme. You know, one of them could be a Galactic Legend. Kind of go a different route there. I'm not sure who their counterpart would be though, but that's a fun thought.
Okay, and then we'll go to Smithy here for the next one. Smithy. Question from Gav P.
Dastra got the fun one.
No, you have a similar fun one now. Gav
okay,
P.
cool. Let's go.
Do you think it's likely that a future Galactic Legend character will require both of the current Galactic Legend characters to obtain it? And I think a lot of people are thinking this might be kind of a Palpatine type of Galactic Legend potentially.
Probably makes sense, makes more money, chink. You know, if you got to have both of them. So yeah, anything's possible. You know, you've seen the requirements for these. Just one of those Galactic Legends. Yeah, it would be really sucky, and everyone would be upset. But everyone that doesn't have one would be upset. But yeah, I could only see maybe that being a Snoke or a new Palpatine, maybe. It's possible. It's not out of the realm. I never thought about that, so I'm going to have to start farming the other Galactic Legend now. Cheers for that, whoever read that question. You just ruined my day. I'm joking.
To be fair, that's pretty extreme, though. I mean, that would be really messed up. So I don't know that they would do that.
It probably will happen.
Because it's still so new. It's still so new. So I don't think they would.
Exactly why it would happen is because not many people have both of them, let alone one.
Yeah, because that would be. Yeah.
We're saying it's
and then
extreme
this new
now.
Galactic Legend will kill both. Yeah, they'll probably destroy both of them in the arena, and they'll be untouchable. Yeah.
I mean, I would say probably there was a point when Legendaries first came out that we never really expected Legendaries to be used for something bigger either, right? So you never know, like when EP and Grandmaster Yoda were like the big characters to come out as legendary characters. I mean, who would have thought? Yeah, we need legendary characters in order to get higher level ones. So
that's a fair point. But man, if that day ever comes that you need both Galactic Legends to get a super Galactic Legend, I mean, what world is this? No.
Yeah, that would be.
Makes sense though, because you needed legendaries for like Luke's journey, didn't you? You needed R2D2.
Yep.
And yeah, that's probably gonna happen. It's gonna be like a super duper Galactic Legend, like a supreme legend. I don't know.
But we've had chains of it, right?
Whatever
We
the
needed
name
legendaries for the heroes' journeys, and then we've needed the heroes' journeys even for the Galactic Legends, right? Because that's what Rey was. So they are continually like chaining these, so you need them before. And if they continue to use Rey and Kylo as kind of the benchmarks for how they're progressing, because they're the latest trilogy and probably what most people are familiar with, it really isn't out of the realm that Galactic Legends would be a requirement for something else. So, but hopefully that's a long way away, a long
galaxy far away.
Yes.
Galaxy far away. Yeah.
All right.
If they were to do something like that, they'll never get anybody new into the game ever again, because it just.
But you wouldn't be competing against those people, right? That's the thing. You're not.
Oh
competing
no, it's not. It's not about competing against those. It's about, you know, if there is not a steady influx of new players into, you know, new competitors coming into the game, and it's just as old scroats staying in the game playing over and over again, then, you know, that's not healthy for the game. You need a constant influx of new people playing to take over from the people that leave the game. And if CG and EA are going to advertise like they did with the GLs. You know, come and play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You can get these 2 awesome characters. And, you know, I rather, you know, cynically said, oh, so a new player comes into the game thinking that they're going to get this Gl-Rey and GL Kylo. And it's like, yeah, but in order to get these 2 characters, you've got to go for all of these and you've got to get them to this massive gear level. And
their advertising was not great.
The advertising was ridiculously, it was stupid. So if they were to do something like that with the next set of GLs, get Mace Windu and General Trace and you know, and be part of the, you know, Galactic Republic fighting the Separatists, and people are like, oh, you know, because there's lots of Galactic Republic era fans of Star Wars. They start the game, they haven't found it, they start playing it, and it's like, oh, what do I need to get these 2 awesome characters? Well, you need these 7, these 5, these 14, these 14, these 2 characters. Oh, and you've got to have them at this gear level. People are going to be like, but I just want those 2 characters, and I can't have them.
Yeah, but no one wants Rey though, do they? You know what I mean? If you ain't playing Star Wars, if you're not already playing it and you got an advertisement for Rey, you ain't installing this game. Come on, let's be honest.
All right, we're going to go around the corn with our last serious question, and then we'll get into our fun questions here. So starting with Smithy here, for the around the corn, from Nathan H. What faction would you like to see that we don't have in the game? For me, it would be Wookiees. So what faction tag would you want to see?
Well, he's just already answered it for me. What kind of question's that? He's just said.
He gave his answer, so yours is Wookiees too?
There you go, Wookiees, yeah.
There we go.
That's a good one. Wookiees.
He's Wookiees. Jedi Master Adastra, what faction tag would you want to see in game that's not there? Adastra's silent. She has the Jedi, so she doesn't need anything else.
Pretty well.
She said Wookiees too.
I'm pretty sure she will say Jedi Council. I'm going to guess she's going to have a Jedi Council tag specific for those that were on the council. But she can answer whenever she's back. Good old Maurice, what about you?
Cleon.
I'm back, and I just heard that answer.
All right, well, we got good old Maurice's answer. Adastra, what would be your answer?
Yeah, the Jedi Council, something like that would be kind of neat if they ever made something out of it. You know, again, when we thought all those reworks for the Jedi were going to hit, I thought that'd be kind of a neat subcategory if they ever made anything out of it. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, I mean, I have my Jedi, so...
You want a Jedi Wookiee, though, don't you? Come on, let's be honest. You want a Jedi Wookiee. A Wookiee Jedi.
Actually, that would be really cool.
There is one, isn't there?
She said Wookiees.
Yeah,
there is a Jedi Wookiee. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It was very something like...
Yeah, but she wants a real one at home.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty awesome Wookiees.
Well, who wouldn't want a real one at home?
Wookiee, you wouldn't want to mess with that.
Why, Finn, what would you do with a real Wookiee at home? Please tell us.
He would protect me from Ranger. That's what I need him for. I need protection from Ranger and McVenom, actually. I think they're both out to kill me right now, so yeah.
Yeah, and the Jedi Wookiee.
I don't know, man. You're probably better off getting a T-800, you know? Cyberdyne Systems 101.
I don't want to kill him. All right.
Here to protect you.
Heinzie, what about
is
you?
to protect you.
Bad Batch faction, man.
Okay. Yep. I think Bad Batch is coming.
Enough said.
Yep. Nev, what about you?
Mandalorian or pirates.
Okay.
I mean, we're definitely going to get more. I mean, we'll definitely get another Mando. I mean, we've had a beginning of season 1 Mando. We'll get a full Beskar Mandalorian, and then they can just throw the Mandalorian tags on Boba, Django, the current Mando, and Sabine, and you know, give us a so that you could just throw all of them in one go. Give some synergy. You know, throw some synergy in there. This is the way.
Do you know why they haven't done it?
And you made a good point.
Didn't they answer why they haven't done it?
We thought we would get Hondo for a long time now. So I mean,
people are still hoping. People are still hoping.
Yeah, they could still do that and open up a whole faction right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Smithy.
Oh no, if it's someone else talking, sorry. I'm just in the middle of working it, so I'm just like this, then talking and.
Oh. We're good. All right.
I was saying why CG didn't do the Mandalorian. That was the Mandalorian tag. I'm sure I read about it before. Is because
They didn't have anything that
how it would
synergizes
split.
with it.
How it split the player base because
Oh, Django and Boba.
and Boba are not Mandalorians.
Yeah, but they don't care.
follow the creed.
CG don't care about lore though. We know that.
No, of course, Rebel
They don't-
Fire's not.
Just
real.
look at
It's
at
not
the
real,
ship-
guys.
Just
not
look at
real.
the ships required for events. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, the game. But I think tags they should stick to law. You know, like how many people have argued on Reddit about Rebel Jedi Luke, and they're just like, he's not a rebel because he went off and did Jedi business. And I was like, he's a rebel, goddammit. He stayed in the rebellion afterwards. Know your law, jabroni. You know. You know, he went on secret missions afterwards, part of the rebellion, and then they just don't reply after that. They're just like, oh yeah, I actually read up now. Oh yeah, he was still in the rebellion.
Well, yeah, it was General Skywalker in Truce at Baccarat, which is the book that immediately follows on from Return of the Jedi. So, yes, but during the Return of the Jedi movie, he didn't exactly resign his commission, but he was doing more Jedi stuff than Rebel stuff in the movie. After the movie, in the lore, then, for about 5 years after Return of the Jedi, he was, doing General Skywalker stuff. And then he resigned his commission to set up a Jedi Academy. So he was no longer a rebel.
Well, yeah, when the rebellion ended is when Luke ended because it went into the New Republic.
Yeah.
And that's obviously when Luke...
the New Republic era, yeah.
He wasn't part of the New Republic. But yeah, even in the movie, even though he went off to fight his father, he still went to Endor on a rebel mission. You know, they wouldn't have even got as far. They wouldn't even destroyed that. So if we went into lore about Luke right now, that the rebels would have been picked up by Vader. The first time they flew to Endor, Vader would have been like, that's fishy. Boom, stop. Vader let him go because he knew Luke was on that shuttle. That was why it is, right? Han Solo would have been eaten by the Ewoks if Luke didn't make C-3PO float, right?
And that,
the
ladies
people
and
are telling me
gentlemen,
he's not a rebel.
is a triggered Smithy D. That is a triggered
Smithy
Smithy
rant.
D. Yeah. You start messing with Luke's tags, you're going to get a triggered Smithy D.
I don't know what I have to do. I even emailed
warning.
EA a bug. You know, just saying like, there's a bug on your character. You know, he doesn't have a rebel tag. You know,
I don't think
I even
Smithy's
reached out.
okay. Smithy's not okay.
This is fantastic.
This is angry Smithy.
You know, and him going off to fight Vader, who, this is what I've said to people as well, he went and fought Vader and the Emperor, who were the leaders of the Empire, and the rebellion was fighting the Empire. How could he not be a rebel, a part of the Alliance? You know, he just gone off and fought the two leaders on his own. Okay, he announced he was a Jedi, but he was a Jedi and a Jedi, a Jedi and a rebel, the same as Galactic Republic had Jedi, Sith, Separatists. Doesn't mean that you're just one tag. Some people hate on Reddit, man.
See, there's the problem with your argument. You're
No,
arguing with
stop,
people
Ned,
on
stop.
Reddit.
We're not continuing.
Okay. Okay, to be continued on another stream, Smithy,
Yes.
you and me.
Yeah, we should talk about like how Luke was still a rebel.
Okay, yes.
Actual law.
Breathe, Smithy. Breathe. Everyone wants to give you a hug now.
I asked for Luke for a long time. I remember saying when I was in the game,
You got a Jedi Luke. You got a Jedi
I ever
Luke.
used to say to the developers was, "Where's Jedi Luke?" Even when Jesse was there. This is how far back we're going. When Jesse was at EA, well,
You got a Jedi
I think he
Luke.
went over to Anthem. And yeah, exactly.
You got a Jedi Luke. You got
Exactly, with no
exactly
rebel
what we
tag.
asked for. You didn't ask for the rebel. You
That's
asked
what
for
I'm
a
saying,
Jedi
we need
Luke. You got a Jedi Luke. All right. We got a $2 donation also from Thane Kyrell that says, Smithy, you have to let that stuff go, mate. All right.
Sorry. It was enough watching Luke drink milk in Last Jedi. I can't take it in this game anymore.
All right. Let's go ahead and run through some of these fun questions here for a few minutes. We'll start with Gav P's question. How was Rangers hangover after drinking with the Aussies last night, Heinze?
He actually hit it hard before we even went live. To be fair, he had a few, but yeah, I think he was close to smashing a whole bottle of bourbon in an evening session before he even got in front of the mic. So no, it was an animated evening, as you would expect. But yeah, at the end of the day, he said, I'm not backing up for this. I'm not backing up for this. The next morning, I'll leave you guys with it. I'm out. It's like, okay. But to be fair, he had a massive day yesterday. He was doing a lot of different streams. Went on Cubs, came on to join us, did a lot of different stuff. So you got to give him kudos. He had a massive day yesterday.
There you go. Next question from Jazz. Hugh Jazz. Question: who else is excited for Cuties on Netflix?
He asked this on our stream the other night. I have no idea what the hell Cuties is.
Yeah, just don't.
It's
it's
a
trolling question.
Sundance-winning film from France. It generated some controversy because Netflix made a kind of odd promo picture for it, and so that it kind of brought itself some extra attention. But yeah, it's supposed to be a really good movie, a good like thing. I don't have Netflix though, so I'm not going to be watching.
Is it subtitled?
I assume so.
No, I'm not excited for it at all.
Okay, there you go. I think it's in French, but I can't remember for sure. So yeah.
He knows it's French.
Utah, question: while Gom has great pictures, does he understand that it's puff puff pass and not puff 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 and puff?
Why do you think I have pictures up, not my camera?
Oh my god. There you go. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Next question. Bill Buttlicker. For Heinze, would you rather be called a preloader or Foster beer lover? It must be one of those two choices.
Foster's like the best beer out of Australia.
I mean, Heinze has to embrace it now. I mean, that's the new, what is it? The Rogue Actions preloaded. I mean, yeah, I don't know what Heinze is doing. He's going to come back with something crazy, I'm afraid. Next question.
He was left speechless there. I mean, it's like, which path do you choose?
Yeah. He's just breaking everything. All right. Ziglet, question: did Heinze drink Ranger under the table again?
I'm sorry.
What happened? Are you good, Heinze?
Yeah, sorry. I just I had a massive dropout on my mic. I'm sorry about that, guys. Just lost all sound for a second there. My apologies.
Okay. So, question from Ziglet: did Heinze drink Ranger under the table again?
Smashed it. Too easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And back to the other question. There was another one as well. Foster's or preloader?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really easy one to answer. I'd rather be called as a preloader because Foster's is absolute.
There you go. All right. Next question. Darsion 1972. Question for Adastra. How much money does RSG need to raise to have you dress up as Midriff Padme? I'm sure there are plenty of us in chat who would dress up and be your Anakin.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response.
There you go.
I feel awkward for you.
There you go. Okay. Nathan H. Besides beer, what is Heinze's favorite beverages?
What other beverages there?
There you go. Okay. Nathan H. Question. By the way, people are answering $1 million in the chat, just saying. They're just throwing out numbers for you. All right. Nathan H. Question. Which panel members would like to play marbles with us on Monday nights? Adastra has played. Adastra plays marbles with us.
That was the first time I had ever played that. I'd always wondered what the heck is this marbles game? People keep talking about this. And I was surprised at how enjoyable that game was. So I'd be down to playing it again sometime. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I'm down. I'll dress up as Padme for $100 if anybody's interested in that.
There we go. Okay. New ACS challenge. Good old Marie's dressed up as Midriff Padme.
If it's for charity, let's raise the bar a little bit.
Okay, we will. We'll put something on there. So that's what you get. That's what you get, Darcion. You get good old Maurice instead.
I better start doing some crunches. It's gonna be embarrassing.
There'll be a lot of bar raising if he does that. Let's be clear, people.
All right, next question. Nathan H. Which dishes would the panel like to see Finn make in Cooking Simulator?
Hogs.
No, there's no pork.
Oh, yeah, I still need to watch you even play that. I still don't even know what that is. So,
I'll be playing it Monday morning, and next week, I'll just kind of pimp it now. Next week, we're doing a Switch week where Ranger's going to be streaming his afternoon streams on Twitch, and I'm going to do my morning and afternoon streams on YouTube. So Ranger will be on Twitch next week. I will be doing all that on YouTube, and so you guys that don't catch it on Twitch will be able to catch it on YouTube. And Monday morning, around 8 p.m. Eastern, we will do Cooking with Finn for like a couple hours, where I make stuff. That's all I can call it. I'll call it stuff.
What about the surgery simulator where you like jab people's eyes out with pencils?
I will. That is on the slate for next week.
Good.
So because it's Switch week that we're doing here, I actually have 2 to 5 Eastern every day off. I took vacation off specifically, so at 2 p.m. every day next week I will be streaming, and we'll stream different games, and Surgeon Simulator will be one of them. I'm not sure which day. I'm trying to figure out the schedule, and I'm working on some of the stuff to set up my streams, but yeah, it'll be fun. So there you go. Gav P, question. I've been cooking madeleines today, 3 different types, plain with raisins and coconut jam. Which one do y'all think sounds tastier? I like the plain with a little butter, personally. That's me. But I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Coconut.
Coconut for Nev. Do you guys have any other preferences on your madeleines?
Lentils.
What?
Capers.
Lentils.
What? That wasn't... Oh, my God. All right, you have to make a lentil madeleine for Smithy, apparently. And a capers one for good old Maurice, which is just awful. All right.
I do like capers and spicy mustard.
All right. Next question. Nathan H. Question for Finn. Please play Minecraft so we can see Sheepy. Yeah, I think Minecraft will be one of the games I play during the week. I'm still trying to figure out the exact schedule, but yeah. And then we'll do the last question here. Thane Kyrell for Millennial Finn. Have you finished recording Vader style for Heinzie? I traded a $60 bottle of Wookiee juice to make it happen, so make it happen, Finn. I'm working on the lyrics for it, and I will put together something for Heinzie.
Do it.
There you go. Okay, so that is it for our questions for today. Let's go ahead and go around the corn and let everyone pimp their stuff. Heinzie, we'll start with you. Go ahead and pimp your stuff.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Not hard to find. Heinzie ANZGC. Lot of fun. Twitch, we obviously do the Gridsy sessions. We did it last night. A lot of fun. We'll continue to do that. During the week, we do the harpoons and beer sessions, of course, which at the moment, obviously, with the schedule, it's Monday morning US time, Monday evening Australia time, and then Thursday morning US time, which is Thursday evening Australia time during the week. And then, yeah, I'll be live with Jedi Academy on Cubs stream. I think tonight, I think, isn't it? Your time, Saturday evening, about 11 p.m. approximate. So, yeah, come and join us and hang out. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, next up is Nev.
Yes, so you can catch me on the Escape Pod Castaways channel. We do the Escape Pod cast on Fridays. That's with me and Paul. On Tuesdays, Flair and I do GA Center, and very, very special weekend. Paul is doing a 24-hour quarantine stream this weekend, and every time a hype train gets achieved, he is going to stand up and do the Macarena. So that should be fun to watch. So yeah, come on over to the Escape Pod Castaways channel on Twitch and on YouTube for some fun and frolicking.
There you go. All right, next up, Smithy.
Normally on Reddit talking about Jedi Luke. No, I'm only joking. But no, I am on Reddit a lot. I do check it regularly, to be honest. I love Reddit. It's good. I love it. So much fun stuff on there, especially when it's a meme day. You know, that's probably the best day, without a doubt. I'm hanging out a lot on Discord. I'll probably start making some videos regularly when there's something to make it about.
Yeah.
At the minute, I just can't really think of something that hasn't been done 10 times. You know, it's I'd like maybe GC, but come on, it's like if I'm only gonna get 10 minutes content of doing battles of what you can do, the videos are probably only gonna be like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's see what changes come in. You know, and see, you know, if new characters come out and if they're arena viable. But yeah, no. I don't know. I just don't see much of a gap at the minute to fill to come back. Made a couple of Vader videos, enjoyed them. Probably make some more at some point, but yeah, it's in the content at the minute. It's hard. It's hard to think of some ideas, to be honest. I don't know if you guys think that, you know, feel that.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
all
not
about the GAC, buddy. I'm all about the GAC. Come watch GA Center, mate. That's good content, man.
They had an awful guest last week. It was awful.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Our last guest was just absolutely terrible.
It's trash. So they need someone better.
Kept on waving his phallic objects in front of the camera. I mean, totally inappropriate.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Huh?
All right, next up, good old Maurice.
Hello.
You want to pimp your stuff, good old Maurice?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a phone call. I'm sorry. I thought it was a question, legitimately. Okay. Thursday nights, Operation Metaverse, 10:30. Team Money and I break it down. Hopefully, next week should be able to have my camera up and running. It's been a little difficult to sit, but I got it going again. Tomorrow night is Sunday, and Sunday nights Ranger and Avinash join Ramon and I normally for a. That's actually, we do it at 10:30 now to Scott. I need to get my stuff together. Ramon, 10:30. Ramona's Ops channel, 10:30. You can see me, Avinash, Ranger, break down all the news, notes, and it's always worth tuning in to see what inappropriate thing Ramon will say. It's one inappropriate thing every week, so it's for nothing else. It's worth it just to tune in for that. That's inappropriate or awkward. Yes.
Yes, I believe this past week it was mods are overrated. I believe that's what he said. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That was a fun conversation. I was listening.
Good tips from an OG game changer there. Nothing better.
Mods are overrated. All right. And then last but not least, we have Jedi Master Adastra.
No. You can find me on YouTube, Jedi Master Adastra, mainly Jedi videos. I uploaded some territory battle stuff before, and then Grand Arena stuff. I've been a little delayed, and I have a bunch of videos I do need to upload. I was starting to do more Grand Arena stuff and voiceover stuff, and just kind of dabbling in that, working up to eventually streaming. I will eventually stream my battles, live stream, I mean, because I've been a guest on a lot of their streams now. It's a lot of fun. Otherwise, you can catch me in Discord. I'm on a bunch of servers, so you could probably find me in one of them, I'm sure. Check out the Jedi server if you haven't. There's a lot of good talk going on there, you know, Grand Arena related, or just Jedi Knight Luke is obviously the main star right now. But yeah, see you around.
There you go. And I already kind of talked about the RSG stuff. So next week we're doing kind of the Switch week. So if you're looking for the lunch stream, it'll be on our Twitch channel. If you're looking for my random ridiculous streams, it will be on YouTube next week. Now, I'm going to end this a little bit differently. Adastra, I know these are your favorite. We're going to end this stream with a Durgan question for you.
Oh, nope, I'm already going by.
The question is, she literally left. She left.
He did.
She straight up bailed. She straight up bailed. She straight up bailed. She wanted nothing to do with Durgan's question. I am sorry, Durgan. I'm sorry.
That made my day.
Quality.
Yes. Quality. She bolted. Okay. So we will end. All right. So with that, we are going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Jedi Academy, and we will see you next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye, guys.